Hello, we've now left Iceland. We're heading south back to the UK, and we've been at sea for 2 days. We've now called in at the Faroe Islands, and more specifically the port of Runavík. Now you can see behind me that it's a bit foggy and misty here, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing today. My initial plans about walking in the hills may or may not happen. I think this morning I'll head down into the town village of Runavík and make some photos there, see what I can see. I really don't know what there is to photograph here. It's a new port to me, so come and join me. Let's go and explore it together, and I'll share with you the images that I create. I've been wandering around the port and the town for a little while, and spoken to some of the local guides. They're actually placed all over the place with these signs, ask me, so that we can get information. And I've been given the map, and there is a trail at one end of the town which goes to a lake. I believe it takes about 40 minutes to walk around the lake, and I'll put the name of the lake on the screen because I'm struggling to pronounce it. Tortaftavan, something like that. Which, what's going to be there when we arrive, I don't know. But I've made some interesting photos in town, which you've already seen, including some photos of chickens. So my wildlife photography is maybe improving slightly. So I'll catch up with you again at the lake, which I believe is about 20 minutes walk from where I currently am. I've arrived up at the lake, and it is really very scenic, well worth the walk up here. But as you can see, there is a lot of mist and haze here. So I just want to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about how best to do photography in these conditions. Really, you've got two options. The first option is to actually feature the mist, make it part of the image, make it a feature, something that's of interest in the composition. The other, because the skies are white, try and reduce those as much as you can, and there's various ways you can try and do this. You can concentrate on details, small items, flowers, things like that. You can try and put the horizon quite high in the frame so that it's not the white sky is not dominating the image. You can try and hide it behind other objects, trees, rocks, buildings, things like that. So there's just a few ideas to experiment with when you're faced with misty conditions like this. I'm going to carry on around the lake. There's a slight diversion to find a geocache, I hope, and then I'll be heading back into town. So here's the images I'm creating around the lake. Enjoy, and I'll catch up with you later. Come back to the ship. I've had some lunch and I'm going out again, This time it's specifically to find a geocache. Now, I've mentioned geocaching quite a bit on these travel logs, and perhaps some of you don't know what it is. Well, geocaching can be described in various ways. My favourite description is using multi-million-dollar satellites to find bits of Tupperware hidden in the woods. Or more generally, it's a worldwide treasure hunt where you use GPS technology either on your phone or a GPS device to find a location where there is a container hidden. There are other types of geocaches, but typically it's a container. And you have to locate the container, open it up and sign the log, and then you can log it online as well to say that you found it. So that's what I'm going to do. One specific one, it's about a kilometre and a bit from here as the crow flies, a little bit longer walking because we can't go a direct route. What's interesting about it is that so that didn't go as planned. We didn't find the geocache and the terrain was too difficult to continue in this weather conditions. It was getting very foggy and we were a bit concerned about finding the way back, so we had to abandon it partway through. So all I can do is leave you with a few images that I created whilst trying to find the geocache. As you can see, now back at the ship, and this brings me to the end of this series of travel logs and the end of my my time on board Ambiance. As I'm recording this, I've still got 2 days to go, 2 days sea days to get back to the port at Tilbury, but no more stops ashore, so no more travel logs to present. Where will be my next set of travel logs? Well, who knows? It was 6 years between working on the cruise ships for CMV and coming back and doing this cruise for Ambassador. I have no idea whether I'll get invited back again. I hope I will. I hope the feedback is good. The passengers seem to have enjoyed the talks I've given. So hopefully you won't have to wait too long to see my next series of travel logs from around the world. So if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share, the usual sort of thing, and I'll see you at some point in the future. And until then, keep making great photos. Bye for now.